Good afternoon. Exhale, breathe, family. How are y'all doing on this wonderful Saturday? How y'all feeling today? I just want to say, first off, I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for this journey. Um, Being obedient, trying to remain consistent and obedient is different for me. But I must say that it feels good. It feels good. A small recap from last Saturday. We left off on me being a wife and doing wifely things or trying to. Um, my ex-husband ended up going to prison, being sent to Louisville, Kentucky, and it was taxing on me and my children. And then I started the process of writing. I started with the warden all the way up to the Senate office. It was just about to get to the president, but they answered before it got that far. But I had been writing and writing and writing. Um, to have him move closer to home because it was just a lot. Um, and I succeeded. Um, actually, I ended up getting first when I first started. They ended up sending him to Texarkana, and at Texarkana, it wasn't too far, maybe like a 3-hour drive from where we was staying at the time. And so that wasn't too bad, but that's what we did. But then they shipped him back to Kentucky. And then it was just like, okay, I got to figure out something. So as I wrote and wrote and wrote, called and called and called, we finally was able to get him moved to Fort Worth. Now, if someone do their due diligence, take out time to help not only you but the family, you would think they would act right? Nope. Got him in Fort Worth. I don't even think he stayed in Fort Worth 6 months, maybe. Maybe a little bit more than 6 months, maybe. And this was like year 4, going into 5. And I remember getting a call one day from him. And he's like, hey, babe, I was just calling you because they getting ready to move me again. And I said, move you? Like, move you where and for what, And he was like, to South Carolina. That was a 16-hour drive from us. So now you're getting moved further away. So I'm like, for what? Like, we just got you here, blah, blah, blah. And he said, I can't seem to get along with these dudes down here. We just keep getting into it or whatever. And I'm like, really? Like, your focus should be trying to do right so you can come home to your family, because you already going to have to be gone for 110 months. And that was He did just about all of that, just about that whole 10 years. But I was just so confused. I was like, all the work that I did, all the time that I took to get you moved closer, and he flipped it. Well, it's because of you that I keep getting into it and da da da. And I'm like, me? Like how? Well, I wasn't writing him enough. He felt like I wasn't visiting him enough. Mind you, I visit every visitation. He had 2 a month, and I was at both of them. One by myself, and one with the children. Okay. Um, of course, I couldn't put money on his books as he liked because I got 3 kids that I'm trying to provide for, and I'm struggling already, and I'm still trying to help you out. So it was my fault that he was being moved because he fighting and this and that. And then if I come visit, that becomes a whole nother thing because now the guys have things to talk about. So he feels like I'm dressing to get people to talk about me or whatever, like I'm supposed to know that. And you had to dress appropriate, honestly. You can't even. Anyways, it was my fault. And he was going off. And I was like, man, what else can I write you? I've been writing you for the past 4 years consistently. You get at least 3 letters a week from me. What else is it to say? I come see you every chance I get. And of course, he wasn't hearing none of that. And I was like, well, I don't know how we're going to be able to make it down to South Carolina because that's too far. And I've already been struggling and I'm not getting help. And he didn't care about none of that. So I ended up hanging up on him. And again, let me tell you something. God is, he gonna, look, he gonna do what he say he gonna do. He gonna show up, he gonna show out, and you gonna, at some point, you will hear him. You will hear him. I was sitting on that couch crying. I didn't start crying, and I'm up here trying to figure out how we finna do this. And in the midst of that, God said, I removed him for a reason. And I'm like, huh? Like, somebody in here? What? He said, I moved him for a reason. And I'm like, he was like, I moved him. I got him out the way so that you can get away. And I was just like, what? This what this about? So me being a good wife, I wasn't supposed to be staying and taking care of and doing all this, like for real? Like 4 years, going on 5. I could have been gone. I could have called the quits. Like literally. About 2 hours later, he called me back. And oh, what a surprise. And he was still fussing and going off. I was like, look, I don't have any more energy for this. You being moved to South Carolina, we're done. I'm filing for a divorce. I can't do it no more. I'm sorry, but I have to do what's best for me and my kids, and no one is helping us, so I have to figure it out, and we will not be coming to see you in South Carolina. And I'm filing for divorce. When I tell y'all, I was every name in the book but the child of God. Oh, he cussed. He could, and I don't even know why I even listened to it because it was over the phone. But maybe I needed to because it helped. I really believe that it helped because he talked so crazy to me, so bad. I mean, I was everything. And when he got done, I just hung up. The about a week later, after researching how to file for a divorce for somebody that's incarcerated, blah, 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 I went and filed for divorce. And my divorce ended up being final. July 10th, 2010. Best day of my life. Best day of my life. Like I was now free of this guy. But, when you think of that, I did have to consider that we had 3 children together. 3. And I was going to have some type of communication with him. And honestly, initially I thought, we will be really good friends and that we will be able to co-parent when he came home. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe because he really was a good dad while we was there. Um, and I felt like he really loved his children, even if he didn't love me. And so I thought we would get along for the sake of them and all that stuff, but nope, because he was still mad. And he had been in there additional 5 years after that, after me filing for divorce and all that. He had, matter of fact, when he got out, I found out that he was still messing with the lady that I told you I pulled up on him and her, like Bonnie and Clyde, So that he had been cheating on me with for the whole period of our relationship for the most part. So you was still not right with me, even locked up. So he wasn't right when he was sick. He didn't do right. He didn't do right when he got locked up. So he wasn't gonna do right by me. And yeah, so we still in the house that was falling apart still in this house. And my cousin, I don't even know what made him start coming over there, but he started coming and trying to help me save the house. I mean, he was working on it. It was gonna be really nice, but it just kept falling apart. It just kept falling apart. And a pipe bust, another flood happened, and we just couldn't live there no more. We just couldn't live there no more. And we really didn't have anywhere to go either. Um, and we just, I tried to make it where we can stay in the house, but of course it didn't happen. And then we ended up homeless for a little while. And I remember the first night because I was still really not, I asked for help with the kids to go to school. But this was around summertime, so I really didn't ask for a lot of help. And I had lost my job at this time, so I wasn't working after Walmart had fired me. And so I had a car. And we was living in the car, but we stayed in the driveway of the house, right? but I couldn't sleep. I couldn't. I would let my kids go to sleep, and every time I would close my eyes, bad visions was coming. And then I scraped up. I might have had I don't know, maybe $100 or something, and I found a hotel that was like $40 a night, but it was in a really, really, really bad area, and it was full of bad things. And so what I did was I put my kids in the room so that they can sleep, and I stayed in the car to watch them, to make sure no one went in there on them, just to make sure they were safe. Because as long as they safe, I'm good. I figured out. But I had to figure it out. And I finally reached out to this chick that she was my homegirl at the time. Um Her husband had not long passed away, and we was real close, and I had reached out to her, and I was just like, can we come, stay with you for a couple of weeks until I figure, some things out. And she was like, yeah, come on, I can use the company or whatever. And she lived way in Raleigh. Oof. But we went because, of course, that was like 2 weeks, and she was ready for us to go because she had three smaller children at the time, smaller than mine. And she started dating again, and she asked us to go, and we did. And then we lived with my auntie for a couple of months, and then I asked my aunt, because again, never had an apartment, never had credit, nothing, didn't have anything, because everything was with him, the adult. And I asked her to co-sign for me an apartment, and she did. Um, that was a huge blessing. But right before that, uh, my brother's baby mama, or girlfriend at the time, mama worked at this drug treatment center, and I had been looking for an MA position, and you know, I had talked to her, and she connected me to her mom, and her mom got me on at this drug treatment center. That's where I started my MA career. And so things had started kind of trying to shift, Then my end up co-signing for my apartment in Oak Cliff. And yeah, life still ain't been easy, but I've been standing on these twos with God help and strength. I've been able to make it. And I started dating again. Of course, when you are abused and traumatized and don't know what healthy looks like or good looks like, or you know it can be scary, it can be intimidating. And it was because I started dating this guy, and he was so cool, like the only guy at the time that had ever made me laugh, made me play, just got me out of the serious zone, because I was always serious. I'm even working on it today, like not being so freaking serious, right? And that lasted for some months. And he lived out of town, so we would go back and forth. And everything was cool. But at that particular time, any sign of trouble, I was like, I'm done. I don't have it. And it was so weird because it wasn't even really trouble. It was just I wasn't used to having healthy disagreements. See, trauma robs you from so much. Abuse robs you from so much. You don't know how to have healthy disagreements or arguments. You don't know how to. You don't recognize when it is a what's the word? It's a criticism, a healthy criticism. You don't know when, you think it's an attack. You don't know how to receive the good parts of relationships because you haven't never seen it. And so it's foreign to you. And it was just that I definitely sabotaged. And then I went into a phase that wasn't a good phase. It really wasn't. Um, but I hadn't been with a man in almost 5 years at this time, and no real um adult interaction for the most part. I end up with a few friends or whatever, and the brothers, baby mama, and different people, but um everybody was doing stuff that wasn't I wasn't used to because again I had been married in a relationship I've been in a relationship since I was 16, 15, going on 16, and then I had been married all the way up until I was 29. No, 30. 30. So it was, yeah. Now I had been in a relationship. So I was, and I was fake. That's why I say people, I know me, right? And I have set up, even to this day, believe it or not, allow people to try to tell me who I am when I know who I am. But I don't know if it's easier that way, or I just never had confidence in who I said I was. Okay? Because I've been defined all my life. Um, and it's never been good defiant, what I mean, defining. And so with that, I just didn't know. And then when, like I said, when he started acting funny and it wasn't sitting well with me, it was done. And then I just started dating, something I never done. And I paid a price for that because I ended up pregnant. Yeah. And that was hard because I have 3 children and they all have the same father. And I really not into kids and I ain't want no more kids. And my baby was about to be 10 years old. So why do I need another kid? Oh, I cried for 3 months. Literally. Cried, and cried some more. And okay, before that, start, like I said, dating, doing the wrong things. Started messing with this guy that I worked with. And it was just a situationship. literally no strings, no nothing, nothing. We just it was something for me to do, um, and probably something for him to do. I guess. I mean, yeah. And then me and my friend, well, she was my friend at the time. She would get me out the house from time to time, and we was at Papa Do's one day, and we sat at the bar and we talking and we having our little cocktails, and this the other guy sitting at the at the bar and started talking to us and started buying us drinks, and we started talking, and I liked him. I don't even know why I liked him, but he was well, yes I do. He had charisma. He had chivalry. It was like he knew how to treat you, and that was his way of treating you. But he was Daisha's too. We'll get to that later. But so we started dating, and when I started dating him, of course I cut off the situationship. But little did I know the situationship produced the situation that I didn't wasn't aware of. And so as I started dating the new guy, it went quick. We had a nice little rendezvous together. It was interesting. It was fun. Um, but he didn't want a relationship either. And that's all I know. That's all I knew. That's all I know to this day. Like I'm a relationship girl. I don't, the casual stuff. That's not for me. I don't like it. I feel like it takes too much energy entertaining different people, trying to figure out different people. Like, yeah, I don't got them. I don't got time for all that. And so for me personally, I'd rather be in a monogamous relationship. And if I can't have that, then I don't want it. It's just what it is. And he didn't want a relationship either. But we had some fun together while it lasted. And I think maybe like 2 months after dating him and being intimate with him, I found out I'm pregnant. So of course I'm like, oh boy. Of course he like, okay, we pregnant, da da da, and that's how that went. And we was fine, he was there, um, for the most part, when he wasn't in the streets, being the guy that gotta be with different women or whatever. But he would come make sure I was okay, taking care of me. Like I said, I cried for 3 months. I was sick for majority of that pregnancy. That was a hard pregnancy. My last one was really hard, on my body, and maybe because I was 31 having a kid, and all my other kids was before I was 21. So yeah, no, before I was 22. But anyways, so yeah, so was in church, and I remember one Sunday at church, I was bawling because I did not want this baby. I didn't know why God did that to me. I was questioning God. I was trying to figure out what was going on because, of course, like I said, this man don't even want to be in a relationship. I don't want to have no more kids. Da da da. And I went through it. I went to church this Sunday, and I'm in church, and I'm bawling, just crying, walking around the church, just crying. 4 women approached me. I keep telling y'all, God be God be knowing what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and he be showing up and showing out. So God has shown me himself many times. Now that I'm really being able to revisit some things, and sometimes that's what needs to happen. Um, Sometimes you have to go through your story in order to see where God was showing up, where God's favor was, where God's love was, where God's strength was. And I didn't know, I wasn't able to see it then. I didn't see it. I didn't see he was working when it, especially when it was to a point where I was ready to just throw in the towel, or at a point where I thought I wasn't going to make it because I was going to lose my mind, right? He always showed up. He always, again, had that ram in the bush. And so I'm in church and these ladies approach me. Two of them was mothers of the church. One was, the other two was just, members, but I guess they had been watching me, or God dropped me in a spirit, or a combination of both. But however, they got around me, they started praying for me because they knew I did not want that baby. And the oldest lady said, "Baby, it's all right. God bless you with this baby for a reason. I know you feel like it's gonna be hard." Like, it was literally like God had told her all the stuff that I was thinking. It was gonna be hard. I was already struggling still. Not as bad because I had my own place, own car, I was working, but check the check, literally. But they was like, "We're gonna help you." These ladies bought this little boy diapers galore, baby bed. They started taking donations for clothes and all kind, and they delivered it. They gave me gift cards. They loved on me, and we was new to the church. We was new to this church. We're still members to this day, by the way. But we was new to the church, and my kids loved it. My kids loved it. And it's just something about when your kids are really happy and good in environments and places, I pay attention to it, because God can tell them things that they're going to listen to and do that we're going to battle him with. We're going to be, fight him on when the kids is going to do. So we was there. And when I tell you, after I had that baby became a church baby. That was everybody in that church baby. To this day, that little boy, he's 13 now. 13 now. To this day, that is GT's church baby. From the nursery on. I mean, when he when he started walking, he would run to the daycare at the church. You didn't have to take him. He knew exactly where to go. He knew his class. He knew, like, they loved him. And that helped me a great deal, because God sent people to love on us, and they have not stopped. They have not stopped. It's certain ones that just loves me and my children, and I know they do. I know they pray for us. I know they, when they see us, it's nothing but love, and we know it, and we can feel it. So I want to say this as I wrap up for today. Sometimes we got to replay all the things to see where God was showing up. Even when we was thinking he was nowhere around, he was there the whole time. He was right in the midst of it. But sometimes your your purpose is tied to your trauma. Sometimes your purpose is tied to your testimony. And when your purpose is big, this is what I'm learning. When your purpose is big or big to you, the tests are great. They are great. And like again, this is just the beginning. I have so much to reveal so that I can see where God's hand was doing all those moments, because he was there. He was sending people, places, and things in his word to confirm, to minister and nourish and love on me and my children. And I'm grateful that I get to share my story in hopes that someone will be helped by it, but also so that I get to see where God really was showing up. His grace and mercy was really sufficient. His love and kindness was really there all the time. It helps me right now. I'm building that faith and that trust in knowing that God is with me. God got me. He loves me. And as long as that is the case, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. So, as we conclude, I would like to say thank you all for joining in. Like, share, and subscribe. Also, comment. Invite people to join us every Saturday, 4 p.m. Is the normal time that I try to be here on time. Um, just share this with someone. Um, it might be able to help them. We will resume next Saturday. Again, thank y'all again. I love you all. I care about you all. And I hope that this is helping somebody. Like, share, and subscribe, and comment. And I see y'all next Saturday. Bye for now.